Welcome to the November 3rd meeting of the Board of Education. First thing we're going to do is call the roll. Ms. Meeker.
Ms. Boucher.
Here.
Ms. Campbell.
Here.
Ms. Hastings.
Here.
Ms. Higgins.
Here.
Mr. Richards.
Here.
Ms. Robinson.
Here.
Ms. Sadowski.
Here.
Ms. Walsh.
Here.
And I am here. We have a quorum.
Next is approval of the agenda. I have a request to move up the grade school partnership presentation. If we could do that after we hear from our friends at Krista McAuliffe School.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Any other changes, additions to the agenda? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the regular monthly board meeting of October 6th, the information session of October 7th, the public budget hearing of October 8th, the executive committee of October 20th, the instructional committee of October 20th, the special board hearing and vote on the budget on October 22nd, the public hearing and vote on the middle school of October 23rd. I will take a motion to approve.
Moved.
Moved by Ms. Robinson.
Second.
Second by Ms. Higgins. Is there discussion, amendments? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Any abstentions? Motion passes. And with that, I would like to invite up our friends from the Krista McAuliffe, my favorite elementary school.
Show your bias, Pam. I'm totally biased. You're allowed.
Yeah, Krista. And parents, if you want to take pictures or see better, you're welcome to come behind us or to the side so you have a better view.
Yeah, come stand around here. Come.
Listen, these babies are precious. We gotta take them photos.
She might be here in a minute.
Here, I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah. Can we, Bridget, can you turn? So she can see? I'll give you the high sign when she needs moved.
Do they need more microphones?
Move that water.
Fern, can you push your microphone down there? Too, to give them a little more. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, take your mic. Beautiful work.
Okay.
One for every child.
All right.
All set? All right, well, thank you all for having us tonight. I'm Carrie Stone. I'm the Digital Learning Specialist at Krista McAuliffe. This is my 4th year in the position, but I worked at Broken Ground before that, and actually started as a parent volunteer and then moved to sub. So I am so glad to be here today. For the past few years, CMS has focused on strengthening our reading culture. This work has been led by our reading specialist, Kristen Silly. She established a literacy committee, and for the last 2 years, we've hosted I Love to Read Week for the students. We've had activities that build excitement around reading. And then last spring, the committee introduced a school-wide read aloud to staff, aiming to foster a shared love of reading and a common literacy experience across grade levels. At a time when children are maybe reading less at home, we felt like the literacy committee hoped that this initiative would promote a culture of readers and also strengthen our school community. Read alouds, we know, offer a powerful array of academic benefits as well. Research consistently shows that intentional, well-planned read alouds boost a variety of skills, including building background knowledge and word recognition. The One Book, One School project centered on the miraculous journey of Edward Tulane, and students across grades K to 5 engaged in a shared reading discussion and reflection that address Common Core ELA standards that are listed on the slide. That you see here. Students developed literacy skills in analytical thinking as they explored themes of love, loss, and transformation through class discussions, written responses, and creative extension activities. The next slide will show you some of those activities that students participated in as part of the whole school read aloud. At the center of these efforts was our traveling Edward, which Phoebe is holding. That actually was crafted by a staff member that worked with us last year by hand. And he's a stuffed animal version of the story's main character, visited classrooms throughout the building. We also had the suitcase join him, and the suitcase contained a collection of symbolic items from the story. And each class had the opportunity to explore like previous things that had been put into the luggage, and then they also got to add something from that day's reading as well. So that was a real highlight for the kids. But then additional teacher-led activities are on the screen as well, and these are things that teachers just decided to do on their own. And we'd like to just highlight two particularly engaging examples. We have some third graders here today who will be reading some book reviews to you. And then we have some second graders here holding their story maps that they created with a second grade class, Mrs. Brown's second grade class. So I'd like to just let everybody know. I think the kids will be able to introduce themselves. I think we'll do that. And they can tell you maybe what they're holding, and then we can have the book reviews. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably
do you-
pass the mic down.
You want to introduce yourself and tell them
My name is Chip, and my favorite part of the movie was when Aveline met Edward again.
My name's Kanan. My favorite part of the book was when the fisherman found Edward Tulane.
Nice job. Do you want to hold it while you talk?
My favorite part about Edward Tulane is when they go to long journeys.
I think I'll finish with the not the book review. So we'll do the book reviews last. Does that sound okay? Phoebe, do you want to talk? This is Phoebe. She's holding Edward. Do you want to say your name and your favorite part?
My name is Gracie. My favorite part is when Edward gets thrown away. He ends up at the dump. Hi, my name's Kinsley. My favorite part is when Edward gets turned in a scarecrow.
One thing I do want to mention too is that Gracie was part of the second grade project. She did it, but she also did something very cool at home. Do you want to tell them what you made?
I made Edward.
She made an Edward at home that she then brought into school, and we had in the library during some of our library checkouts for other students to see. So our third grade students, we have two of them here to share their book reviews. Do you want? Nope, Alice is going first. Sorry, Alice. Stand here so everyone can see you because I think I'm in your way.
My name is Alice, and my book review is on The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane by Kate DiCamillo. My rating was 5 stars because I liked hearing different people's thoughts on his journey and what they have been through, and how you compare a bunny falling off a ship to losing someone. My favorite part was when Edward and Abilene reunited.
Hi, my name is Davy, and I rated this book 5 stars because it really gives us a really good detail of what things look like, but it also is just a really good, great fantasy book. My favorite part was when he was found by the dog Lucy.
Nice job. Just put that back in here. All right. So that's just a little bit about it. One thing also, just I'm sure you guys all really connected with these amazing reviews and these favorite parts of their story. If you have not read the book yet, we might have one more thing to entice you. It is a book trailer that was created for the students, and we showed it at one of our first community meetings, so all the students in the school got to see this and just generated some excitement for the read aloud. So we're going to show you that.
Are you ready? Dun, dun, dun.
Have you ever heard of a toy rabbit who thought he was too special to care about anyone? Meet Edward Tulane, but Edward doesn't love anyone back. Until one day, something unexpected happens. Edward is lost. Now Edward must go on a long journey. Each one teaches Edward something new. Will he ever find his way home? Come along on the miraculous journey of Edward Tulane. Read it, feel it, take the journey, starting Monday, September 29th.
Very dramatic.
Great job, everybody. I think the board members might have a few questions for you. Ms. Hastings.
I read this book to my third grade class when I was teaching, and I cried. Did your teachers get emotional when they read this story to you sometimes?
Ms. Brown is saying yes. You're saying no.
It is a wonderful book, and I think everybody should read it, not just students.
So my question is, did this make you want to read more? Good. Other questions, Ms. Higgins?
Was this like an in-class thing, or you met at a special time, or it was a school-wide in-class? Like, what? How logistically? How did this work? Like, where did you do all the reading?
Where did the reading take place?
In a class. We all read the same book at the same time. Yeah, and basically, our teacher tried to find a time to finish it and read it. And they all when I got home, me and my brother like to talk about what we were at and stuff. And
Yeah, so we created like a chart, a calendar, pacing chart and everything. Teachers also got included with tricky vocabulary. There are some things in the story for a K-2 that are just a little trickier, so we amended some things or just gave them like a little heads up that some of the topics could be a little bit trickier for those grades.
Yep.
So that was all provided to teachers.
And kids do it because they want to, or does everybody do it?
Everyone read it. Every teacher was required to read the same pages on the same day. They could pick their time. And the only
Very
thing,
unifying, like. Getting all, see, I'm getting teary-eyed now.
yeah.
Just thinking
The
about
tricky
it.
part was
Yeah.
actually teachers finished early because students would not let them.
Well, no.
Which is great,
Right,
right?
right.
For
But then you can't tell. You have to.
I know. But Alice and Abe, right, they share a household, and so for them to be able to go home and like second to third grade or kindergarten to fifth, they're all reading the same story and having like a large conversation around like what is happening in the story and what's surprising, what is making them want to tear up and cry, what was added to the it really just engaged students in a love of reading, which was the goal.
I just wanted to follow.
Ms. Boucher?
I just wanted to follow up on what Ms. Stone had said because that's exactly what I was going to say. Having a fifth grader and a second grader, it was so fun to hear them come home and talk about what part of the book they were at and be at the dinner table saying what they liked about the book, what they didn't like about the book. So yes, unifying outside of the classroom.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Great author choice too. I mean,
Yeah.
all of her books.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my kids had read it a long time ago, and it's always been like a book close to my heart. So for our first one ever, we really jumped in with a really heavy one, but it was very well received. So.
And I'm already also reading another one. I also, before we did the Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, I was also about to finish The Tale of Dexter, also by her, and now I'm also reading another book by her, The Magicians also.
Yeah, which we ended up doing a lot of read-alikes in the library for book checkout. So if you like the journey part, I have these adventure books. If you like the fantasy part, and it really did engage kids in like a deeper understanding of book choice and like identifying as a reader. So yeah, so it was really cool.
We're so proud of you guys.
Wow.
Great job, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that
It's all
with
downhill
us.
from here.
Keep reading, beautiful babies.
And you all can go home if you want. I know you are dying to hear what we're going to talk about. Yeah, it's feel hands. And it does smell good.
Put that on early, right?
It's not bad, right? No, honestly,
That must have been amazing.
That's awesome. I was like, yes.
This actually rubs in pretty damn well. But I also agree with things on my. Can you try now? I just like wipe it off on my clothes.
Yes. So, Mr. Richard, who has added a reading period to the school day, are you thinking about scaling this? That's not listening to me.
Be a good empathy book for middle schoolers.
Never thought of that in high school. Work that muscle. 1,300 students.
It would be very cool.
Like, I mean, we do Concord Reads, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be great for middle school too.
No, it's not finishes over the summer. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we could tie it in.
But,
It's coming from.
so. All right.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank
Great job.
Thank you. So now I think we have Great Schools Partnership with us.
Yes.
Hi, we're just going to do a test of sound. Can you hear? This is Gabby Steitler from Portland, Maine, from Great Schools Partnership. Can you hear us, Gabby?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. It's not coming out of this though. Are people at home going to hear that then?
What would we need to do to ensure?
I just want to make sure that people from home can hear.
Make sure Josh's got it.
Okay. Turn my volume up. Okay.
Is the volume is it coming out of your computer? Fern?
It's coming out of the big screen.
So if we put a microphone close to
Over
the
there?
speaker, one of those.
Okay.
Or we
All right.
And first, all I can see is you right now. Is that okay?
I can turn you this way, but yes, that's fine because everybody can see you
Okay, perfect.
as long as you're
So,
okay with just
and
looking at
not
me.
just the hands that are raised.
Okay, we'll make sure to turn it when we're.
You can.
Yeah, I can kind of go
Somebody
this
has
way.
to let me know.
Okay, I can
All right.
turn you this way, but it's mostly, yeah, so this is the board. So I want to say hello to everybody. I'm Fern Seiden, the Director of Student and Staff Wellness, and with me tonight I have Gabby Steitler from Great Schools Partnership. She has worked with me and our team throughout the last, since spring, doing an assessment of our Project Aware work thus far and kind of giving us which in Project Aware is a grant that we received to address mental health and wellness in our school district. We are going into year 2. We've had this grant for 1 year, and it's a 5-year total. And so we thought it would be good to take all the data that we had and all the data that we would want to get and, work with Gabby on collecting that data to kind of pull together a kind of place where are we now in our work so we can kind of measure that moving forward because we had a lot of different assessments and pieces, community assessments and a needs assessment I did, lots of different kind of random data that we had pulled together, but this was kind of our attempt to get everything into one place and get a sense of where we are now. And this is all measured against the Project Aware requirements for what the grant is intended for. So I'm going to turn it over to Gabby, and then we can take questions, unless there's anything else I should do to introduce. Anything I'm missing? Everything good to get going? Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Gabby now, and she'll help us understand more about where we are.
Great. Thank you so much, Fern. I really appreciate this. And thank you to everybody on the board for making time for this today. I'll start just very quickly with an appreciation for Fern and for her team, but also for the community and the administrators and the staff and the students at Concord who really helped with the data collection process. You have a wonderful team of administrators, staff, teachers, and students. It's a wonderful community. As we go into this, I'm going to present for about 5 minutes and then leave the floor to you all for any questions that you might have that I'll be able to answer. And if I'm not able to answer them, I'll pass them back to Fern, and we'll go from there. So Fern did talk briefly about the Project Aware framework and the purpose of the presentation for today. We worked together to create a report that synthesizes in all of the information that there is against the Project Aware framework so that we can have all of that data and make some informed decisions. Fern talked briefly about this. Project Aware is the Advancing Wellness and Resiliency in Education grant. It is a federally funded program by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration aimed at improving mental health in schools. These are the key criteria for Project Aware that Fern was referencing that we used as the framework when we analyzed data. Support long-term sustainability, reduce barriers to care, enhance school climate, foster collaboration, promote prevention and early intervention, build infrastructure, improve access to services, and increase awareness. So these were the metrics that we used when we gathered the data to synthesize strengths and opportunities. The purpose and the scope of the report: we gathered and analyzed available data to identify district assets and opportunities aligned to that framework. We drafted recommendations, identified possible action steps, and gathered resources to support with district efforts, support communication alignment and long-term sustainability, and then provided tools in the form of action planning templates, data analysis protocols, and team goal setting protocols to help with team learning and design. When you look at the report, it is 36 pages, and you can see exactly what the metrics were. Fern and I worked really intentionally to make each element of the framework visible so that when we gathered that data, we could really see where that would be reflected. What data was collected? A lot. We looked at the family and student surveys, including the Bright Future survey, the Youth Risk Behavior survey, the 2021 Riverfront Consumer Satisfaction survey, and the needs assessment from the community. We looked at MTSS fidelity dashboards, which were completed by each of the schools. We looked at those independently, and then we also looked at them themed collectively. And we looked at archival school data. We analyzed to identify trends in student outcomes. That included a review of academic performance, discipline data, attendance, and chronic absenteeism records. That's the quantitative data that we gathered. A big piece of our partnership also included qualitative data. Included in this were semi-structured listening sessions that I conducted with a representative sample of student support staff to gather insights into implementation, successes, challenges, and perceived project outcomes. This was 33 members of your student support team. We met in 3 hour-long sessions to gather that data where I asked questions, I listened, I transcribed, and then themed that data. We also held focus groups with administrators, staff from each school, and students in the middle and high school to provide a collaborative forum to discuss their experiences, identify areas of improvement, and areas of strength. From there, you can see I took some just visuals so you can get a sense. The data took all different forms, themed notes. You can see the dashboards, you can see the 2 needs assessments that we utilized. That's just some of the data that we collected when we went through this process. For the data analysis, for quantitative analysis, we used descriptive statistics, mean, standard deviations were used to summarize baseline and end-of-year data in the MFI dashboards. And then qualitative analysis, where the interview and focus group transcripts were coded and analyzed using a thematic analysis approach. From that, we took all of those earlier stated Project Aware indicators and we identified if each of those indicators was emerging, in place, established with consistency, or fully integrated across the district. And so what this yielded is a list of recommendations. Each recommendation has action steps associated with it. These are the 4 recommendations that we have identified. Provide better access, more alignment, and more preventative and proactive measures. In addition to this, there are recommended strategies and actions that can be used, as well as possible examples of what that might look like. Amplify strengths and share what's working. You have a tremendous number of assets within your school community. Different schools have different strengths, and so really thinking about how to share those strengths across buildings. Streamlining referrals to support systems and communication strategies. There are many processes that are already in place for this. This is something that the beginnings are already there. It's just doing it with consistency. And then supporting staff and families through awareness, proactive supports, and trainings. And again, in many of these recommendations, you have elements of these in different places. So it really is just a matter of thinking, how do you share, how do you systematize some of these processes. Other key features of the report include an organizational scan that we'll look at more closely, asset mapping, where we really took all of the assets that are in your community, of an asset-rich community filled with wonderful supports and systems to help students. So really taking time to articulate what those things are. Themed notes from those student support listening sessions and the staff listening sessions. We did promise anonymity when we did those sessions, but we did want to make sure that we shared back some of those themes that we heard. And then a list of references to demonstrate the research base. I want to take just 1 minute now to go into something that I do think is interesting for you all as a school board to see. This is a 36-page report. There are lots of different pieces to it. But 2 core themes that did emerge were around communication and infrastructure for long-term sustainability, which I do think is something that you as a school board might be interested in. I'm going to share this tab. This is the organizational scan that we completed, so it looks at different organizational structures. Within this, and Fern has a copy of this so you're able to see it as well. Within this organizational scan, you can see all of the different meetings that take place. You can see who are the different people that attend those different meetings. You can get a sense for who the players are within this really complex ecosystem within your school district and the community. The fine lines here represent positions that are grant funded. So those are positions where funding is coming from different grants and it's not necessarily long-term sustainable. These thicker lines are demonstrating money that is built into budgets in a more sustainable way. You can also see their students and their families with the roles that they have within these different team meetings. One of the things that really is interesting, when you take out the role of central office, for example, you can see how fragmented that communication becomes between different meeting structures. When you take out different building-based roles, you can see that the infrastructure changes. You can look to see where those regional partnerships are. So here there's the neighboring districts of student wellness have regular meetings. You can see that DOE of student wellness is a regional partner. So it really allows you to see who the different people are in each of these roles. When we talk about the infrastructure, when we talk about the complex nature of this teaming. And then also importantly is the way that the work is funded. When you see these fine lines here, it is representative of things that where that money comes from grant funding. And as Fern mentioned, there's a process by which that ends. So timelines for that. So I'm going to go back to this other tab, and I'm going to just pass it back to you all to see, are there any questions that you have for me? And if I'm unable to answer them, then I'll make sure that, Fern is here too, and so maybe she'll be able to provide some answers. So I'll stop sharing, and you can just see my face again. Does anyone have any questions?
Can you elaborate on what you mean by communication as the core theme and what we should be thinking about in terms of that?
Yeah, that's a great one. So when you look at the chart and when you're thinking about communication, Fern and I did a really deep organizational scan to look at all of the meetings that are taking place. And so across your school district and your community, there are many, many, many team meetings. And when you look at that organizational scan map, that web, you can see where those are. But teaming and the communication is coming through those fine or narrow lines that are provided through grant funding. And so when you look at that, if you were to remove like the Project Aware grant funding and you don't have the different positions funded the way that they are, you lose that communication infrastructure around different systems, practices, and protocols. If that makes sense.
Okay. Ms. Robinson?
I was going to ask, I'm noticing in this organizational structure that students are engaged in only one of these meetings and families are engaged in 2 of them. I'm just curious, because I don't have the map right in front of me, what those meetings are, and should it concern us that students are only engaged in one part of this conversation?
Those are good,
Yeah.
good questions.
Yeah, we are, yep, we are, we have currently, we have representation on our district community leadership team. And at schools, this doesn't include, let's say, the different clubs at the high school that might be doing different activities in the school. I'm just looking at the mental health components. Since we did this, there have been 2 clubs that emerged at the high school, for instance, that are doing work in this area now. The Getting to Y Club, which is fantastic. They're looking at all the YRBS data and doing action planning around that. And there's a mental health club. And so, yeah, I am concerned about that. I want to see more in with multi-tiered systems of support. Best practice really is to have more student involvement in that, students sitting on tier 1 teams, and a lot more, built-in systems. But it doesn't, I guess I would say this is to remember the box in which we're looking at. We're not looking at student engagement across like student government, for instance, or all those other pieces, because I know that at every school there's like student voice opportunities in all different ways.
Yeah, that answered my question perfectly, Fern. Thank you.
Mr. Richards?
Yes.
I would just echo, when this piece of data was shared, that was something that came up in the student support conversations as well, and with Fern. It was a real like, oh, here's an opportunity for us to get students engaged more intentionally, and already that team started to brainstorm ideas for what that might look like. Which is the purpose of a report like this, is to sort of show you where those opportunities are, and then to allow for teams to brainstorm how to address some of those opportunities.
Awesome, thank
That's
you.
a great question. Does anyone have any other questions?
Mr. Richards?
Yes, I just, first of all, this is outstanding, and I really appreciate the work that everyone is doing, and I'm very excited that this is just the very early part of this multi-year, and I appreciate the fact that it is a multi-year type of a program. My question is, as we come to the end, and you so eloquently described the thin line connections, and so I guess I'm not just concerned about aware, but swear, for lack of a better thing, sustainable wellness. And
Yeah.
is there a transition, or is there a point at the end of this program, or at some point of this program, will you identify, because money is always something that we'll deal with, but can you identify those key interconnections? And I don't expect you to have it now,
Yes.
but is there a framework where you'll identify them to bring them back to the board at that later date to say, this is what we need to sustain this?
Yes, and it's already really becoming clear where those points are. So I can give you an example. 2 things. One is right now we've been funding our coaching system, our MTSS coaches at each school, and run the tier 1 teams and the tier 2 teams. And that's been funded through grants for a very long time. And eventually we have to start thinking about what does it take to manage the tiered systems of support, and how do we sustain that outside of a stipend? Is it a part of a job that already exists? Is it part of, can things move around, or can we start reimagining how different jobs might work? Or is it a stipend that we have to start considering as a general budget item because it's so important? Another area that I am really excited to grow is our relationship with Riverbend is really really grown so much. And one of the key roles that's developed is the mental health liaison, the Riverbend Mental Health Liaison, and we have funded that. And we have successfully, I was just looking at the numbers, I think we're up to 99 students that we've connected to on-site mental health supports, and since we've started this work. And we also have had hundreds of kids in small groups, and we're doing so much with Riverbend right now. And so how we begin to create a partnership that is sustainable on both ends, that the school has a commitment to Riverbend long-term, and that the district does, and then that Riverbend also sees it as something that's beneficial to their mission. And so they start funding it like in that kind of shared cooperative way. Those are the two areas that I'm most excited about.
Well, thank you, and I encourage you to continue. This is very, very important aspect of our educational system that hasn't always been there and really is quite important. So
Yeah, this has been
look
a
forward to
really
seeing
unique.
more.
It's a great opportunity. This grant is an unbelievable opportunity. There's so many exciting things happening right now. So.
Are we going to at some point, or maybe you already are, looking at patterns of mental health issues for our students so that we can develop better avenues to help them with those? Are we looking at those kind of things, or are we
Yes.
looking more at the quantitative?
We are definitely, so there's a couple things that have emerged. Number one, we know that anxiety is a big sort of feature, right, like sort of a big, one of the most prominent impairments that is affecting our kids. One of the areas, probably this is another really exciting example of our partnership and the grant, the way the grant has worked. And I don't want to see like a grant, I think this should keep going, right, things like this without a grant. But we have addressed absenteeism and school refusal behaviors, both at Riverbend, where all the therapists in the children's unit there got intensive training on how to treat school refusal behaviors in clients, because they see our kids. And then this year, we have 2 days worth of training with a gentleman who is a psychologist out in Western Mass, who's an expert in school avoidance behaviors. And we're doing a book group, and we're going to be kind of, working on that and working with attendance teams and that kind of thing to address that particular behavior that has grown tremendously. And we're not just seeing that behavior, kind of school refusal of kids not coming to school, but even kids who come to school in the middle and high school but don't make it into the classroom, so that the behaviors are school avoidance. It's not a sense of belonging that's necessarily keeping them from school. They feel like they belong at school, but they have the behaviors of somebody who's anxious about entering a classroom. So we're going to learn how to assess the root causes of those behaviors with with Alex Hirschberg, and using different strategies and assessments, and then be able to provide the kind of treatment that's hopefully that can really help with that cooperation with Riverbend and our school mental health.
Just a follow-up on that. Are we working with families? Are we diving in at all to what families need as a whole so that we can help?
Yes, and to add on, Dr. Hirschberg was here this summer at our family conference, and he spoke to families and did like a family training as well. Unfortunately, what's really hard is getting families to attend. He had really a great success working with just the few people who attended, but the few people who attended got so much from it that it made me happy for that day. But yeah, I mean, that's probably one of our bigger challenges, is figuring out how to reach families. We've held several family events with very low participation. So we're trying to work on that.
That explains a lot, though.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It's hard, it's hard to figure out. We were talking about doing some teen talks in January that are maybe just online. Maybe having, drop-ins for people with Dr. Hirschberg to say, can you help me? Can you just somebody to connect with and start the conversation. But Yeah, I think the place where we get most family connection is through our school's counseling staff, and our social work and home to school liaison staff are unbelievable. You know, that's also highly grant funded. We've been able to hire 2 more home to school liaisons with this grant. Very much needed and already busy and working, you know, filling a gap that was there. And we felt like even though that might not be fully sustainable over the long run, we hope it is, because it is probably, like, it's just something that really makes this district unique, is that work we do to reach out beyond the school doors to our families.
It almost seems as though maybe the school counselor position is one of the positions we need to look at and see, do we need to make some changes along the way to what their scope is?
Yeah, there's so much on everybody's plate already. It's so hard to imagine and redefine roles, and understand how to traverse the process. It's complicated.
I'm sure.
But certainly we're doing a lot of excellent training with really good trainers. One of the great things about this grant is being able to bring in like really high quality training that you wouldn't typically be able to afford in a school district. So tomorrow we have executive functioning training with Cognitive Connections out of Chelmsford. It's an unbelievable trainer. And that's something that people have been asking. So that's like building up our tier 1 system to support teachers, to help give them skills in the classroom, and school counselors, so that school counselors can be consulting with teachers and families about these things.
That's great. Thank you so much for that work.
Yeah.
And I'll echo just Fern 2 things. I'm hearing this board is just like very in tune with sort of like already some of these needs. Those were 2 findings from the report as well. The need for that consistent community engagement, how are we pulling families into this process, was one of the recommendations to think about. And I know Fern and I have talked about what that action planning looks like and how to support it. And then the other thing, Fern, that you just touched on is that complexity around role clarity, and how do you provide sort of a systematized role when you are also having these unique needs and strengths within different school communities. And that was also another main priority to really think through over the next few years. And so you, as a board, you all really have your kind of like fingers on some of the pulse points here of those recommendations.
Well, seeing no more questions, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And going to move on to our student report with Erin and Clementine.
First meeting.
It is.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a great Halloween in October. Fall sports have come to an end, and we're now approaching winter sports. The football team has won their game on Halloween night against Timberlane, which makes them move on to the playoffs. They will be playing against Wyndham on Saturday at Wyndham at noon. CHS girls field hockey made it to the quarterfinals, but unfortunately lost 1-0. For golf, Zach Nelson placed second in the state meet and 29th at New England's. Then lastly for sports, Mahaley Burdett, Spencer Clemens, and Josiah Conley will be competing at New England's for cross country this Saturday in Thetford, Vermont. Last month, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors took their PSATs in early October. Exciting news for the clubs at CHS is that Be the Change had their Diwali event. Racial Equity Club visited Millbrook to read books and share activities about Diwali and Filipino American Heritage Month. Ethics Club had their second scrimmage at St. Anselm College, and the NAMI suicide prevention teams have begun starting up their presentations to share with CHS. CHS also had 20 students audition for the Selective Jazz All-State Festival on October 18th, and 2 students were accepted to the festival. Dylan Stewart was accepted into the Honors Jazz Band, and Evan Wicks was selected for the Honors Jazz Choir. Lastly, seniors have started applying for colleges and have the opportunity to apply to any New Hampshire college for free this Friday, November 7th, with Apply NH. They will also be put into the raffle for a $500 scholarship as well. I would also now like to introduce our new student representative, Clementine.
Welcome, Clementine.
Okay. Alrighty. Hello. Good evening. My name is Clementine, I'm a junior and I like to be involved in my school, which is ultimately why I applied for this position. I'm also in several clubs, and one of those clubs is where I met my other representative, Erin. The Racial Equity Club, which used to be the club that Mr. Herbert sadly left us. It's okay. I don't hold a grudge.
You're better than Miss Lamb, who yelled at me on Friday.
Sorry. Alrighty. My other affiliations include being the communications chair of Be the Change Club, archivist of National Art Honor Society. I'm also a part of Ethics Club, among many others. Apart from getting involved, I hope to be a voice for the countless CHS students who are athletes, scholars, and day-to-day students. I hope we can all work well together.
Thank you for the time.
We're so happy you're here.
Thank you. I would also like to go over some couple of updates that we got from throughout all the elementary schools. Okay. All right. Okay. So starting off with Abbott Downing, their back to school night, I heard, was a great success. Everyone was super excited to show their parents the new classrooms. People also enjoyed seeing Thunder, which is their new mascot. There were over 20 community partners who showed up to the event and offered services and programs to families. Apparently, Character Day was a really fun day. Everyone liked seeing the different costumes, and the best costumes were also Marty McFly from Back to the Future and Minions from Despicable Me. They also held a Unity Day on October 22nd, where students and staff wore orange to stand up and advocate to stop for bullying. Teachers also used the time to have discussions. Also, their digital learning specialist has also been focusing on it through all of the month of October. Alrighty, moving on to Beaver Meadow. Beaver Meadow School kicked off the year with a highly successful back-to-school night where families reconnected with staff and students, proudly showcasing their classrooms. The PTA hosted a well-attended book fair and served a delicious, wow, I'm jealous, spaghetti dinner to over 200 family members, creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Their 5th grade leadership team also recently participated in the Delta Dental Leadership Summit and are now currently working on school improvement initiatives inspired by their experience. Additionally, their 5th grade ambassadors are actively contributing through roles on the Patriotic Crew, Right Cycling Team, and other school support efforts. Alrighty. They've also launched the Changemakers SCL program school-wide with monthly themes celebrated during all of their all-school meetings. This month, their focus is on self-regulation, helping students build essential social emotional skills in a fun way, as while also being meaningful. Last but not least, last but not least, Crystal College School. Apparently, their recent Title I Books and Breakfast event was a wonderful success. Families joined them for a morning of literacy activities, breakfast, and book giveaways. The event fostered strong school-home connections and emphasized the importance of reading at home. They were very thrilled to see so many families participate and leave with new books to enjoy together. They also had open house in the rain, apparently. All right. Despite the rainy weather, their open house was a vibrant and well-attended event and evening. Families braved the downpour to meet teachers, tour classrooms, and learn more about the curriculum and programming. The positive energy and community spirit was palpable, and they're very grateful to the staff, families, and PTO and the community outreach supports for making the event so successful and under less than ideal conditions. That's for sure. Alrighty, and last but almost the end. Collaborative meetings. Their collaborative meetings are underway and have been instrumental in supporting data-driven instructions and student-centered planning. Teachers are also using these sessions to meet with interventionists and specialists to analyze assessment data, share instructional strategies, and align interventions across classrooms. These meetings are fostering a strong sense of culture of professional learning and teamwork, all focused on improving outcomes for our students, their students. Alrighty, October has brought a fun and active tradition to the CMS atmosphere with our annual Wogtober celebration. And that was all for CMS. And for me.
Well done.
Dropped in the deep end, huh, Clementine?
I'm sure Aaron said, "Oh, this will be easy."
Well, in Erin's defense, usually it's Abbott Downing and no one else sends anything.
Great to hear from
So,
all the schools.
yeah.
Oh, man.
At least, hopefully, we hear
Miss
more
Broken
from the
Ground
other
and Mill.
schools. Yeah.
All right, we'll get them in.
Yeah.
It's really long.
Moving on to the superintendent's report.
So, tomorrow, November 4th, we have our PD day. So there will be, students will not be in school, but staff will be in attendance. We have numerous activities throughout the day from the morning into the afternoon for various time frames from a couple hours to half day to full day, ranging from professional learning communities, New Hampshire 306s, working on our curriculum, working on our courses and doing a crosswalk with 306s, our multi-tiered systems of supports teams getting together to, again, look at what resources and supports we offer for our students, looking at our data to reinforce that, universal design for learning, so quality instructional practices from K through 12. There's opportunities for participation in that. So, in addition to your traditional math instruction and academic, professional developments as well, and restorative practices at middle and high level are also being offered. So, quite a range of opportunities there for tomorrow. Next, we have Broken Grounds Food Pantry. Liz was present with me and Sarah as well for October 9th. Broken Ground opened up their food pantry, partners with the Capital Area Food Access Program as well as Hannaford's. And as Kyle put it, there's been so many people who've helped us, I can't name them all. So transformed a girls' locker room, what formerly was a girls' locker room off of the gym, into a food pantry. And he has shared, since it's been up and running, that they go out about to 3 different neighborhoods, at least once to 2 times a month, delivering food to families who have reached out and need the support. They found this to be some way of, giving still some privacy to the families who need to reach out for the support, and the school being the conduit to getting them those services. So they go out to the communities that come into Broken Ground School. Next, any questions on either of those? Great celebrations. Next, and this one is aha moment where I was not sure where it left off with the board, but about October 2023 into the winter 2024, there was a proposal of a trip to Italy from Concord High School World Language, a teacher as well as an English teacher at Concord High School, and it is coming to fruition in this spring. So things that I just wanted to bring back, just in case you hear of like a group of kids, 20 some odd kids going to Italy with our teachers, just to refresh people on that. It is occurring during that April vacation. There's a wonderful opportunity. First, they spent 2 years planning for it, offered some fundraising opportunities for students, reached out to Ellen, looked at some grant opportunities to get supplemental funding. The scholarships were provided through the program that we're using. The travel agency does have some scholarships. It's not all cost encompassing, but reduces the cost. And then the kids had about 1.5 years to raise after learning about the trip, funds to go. So we have quite a list of students going. In addition to that, while they're on this trip, students have an opportunity to experience not only the culture of Italy, but there's historical lessons to be learned, as well as engagement in the world language aspect of it and whatnot. When they return from the trip, they have an opportunity to follow up with a course offered by George Mason University to earn some college credit associated with their experience on this trip. In addition to that, they have opportunities for follow-up to earn half an ELO credit. Both of these will be reflected on their transcripts. And the George Mason University is 3 college credits that they can earn. So quite an ELO opportunity and real immersion into different culture and world language.
Fantastic.
Question?
Right.
I can translate.
Ms. Shea, how many students applied and were they all able to go, or what was the cap
There-
and interest
To
versus
be,
interest?
there wasn't a cap set. From what I've heard, very few left, and it was not due to financial needs that they decided not to go. I think if you signed up and wanted to go, I think because I was not the first-hand person doing it, they found a way to fund it. But
One of the kids moved to London, so he's
Yeah.
not going anywhere. And very upset about it.
So, based on the list I have in front of me, and I assume it's comprehensive, 26 students. So,
That's
a good chunk of
Excellent.
students.
All right. Anything else, Mr.?
Nothing else.
All right. Facilities update.
I'm going to take the first part of that.
You're going to take
Yeah,
the
the first part of that. So we discussed in capital facilities, prior to my tenure with you, there was discussion about having an on-site project manager for the middle school project. And some of you were also privy to emails I received where these people put out bids, wanted to know where it stood. And we had a capital facilities meeting where I know there was a discussion around we're going to stick with our in-house people instead of adding anywhere from 2.5 to 3.2 million to the project of the middle school. I just wanted to make sure before I opened my words for the board or said anything on behalf of the board that was an accurate understanding I have.
So, and I guess it didn't come for a full board vote because there was no recommendation from the Capital Facilities Committee to do anything. But if anyone wants to move that we do this and bring it up for discussion, you can. Otherwise,
I'll move that we utilize Mr. Cashman as our project manager.
moved by Mr. Richards, seconded by Ms. Higgins, a motion to use Mr. Cashman as our owner's project manager. Discussion?
Should we ask Mr.
Mr.
Cashman?
Cashman.
Well,
You
Mr.
should ask
Cashman
Mr.
has already agreed to this.
The conversation at the capital facilities meeting really centered around the fact that he doesn't need to come in, he doesn't need to learn anything to work on this project. He's done 3 buildings already in the district. He understands city infrastructure. He understands connections, people, who he's going to be communicating with, how it will work, how to balance a building being built and torn down on one site. Like, he's done all of these things. And in our conversation, it just didn't make sense to hire somebody that now has to learn all about our community and all these things to do what he's already done. So that's how I remember it in general terms.
Yeah, and I think that's accurate. And also, I think there is a law that says, districts should use, but they can use in-house people. And unlike most districts, we do have the in-house expertise. A lot of smaller districts don't, but we have that, and we're lucky to have that. Mr. Richards.
Yes, this was a point of discussion at the Capital Facilities meeting and in another public meeting. I said that Mr. Cashman was certified to do this position. I want to clarify that, and that there isn't a real certification in being an owner's manager, but want to clarify that Mr. Cashman has numerous certifications from his experience in the Navy as well as other areas in the project management. And in addition, he has tremendous experience within this district with regards to managing large capital projects, not the least of which was the steam to heat conversions and our elementary schools, which came in at or under budget, I believe a little under budget, and definitely on time. So I believe his record speaks for himself, and I'm very, very comfortable with Mr. Cashman in this position. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Ms. Hastings?
Do we, did we put this out to bid?
Yes, we did.
And are we letting people know that we've decided to go with an in-house option, or is that?
That's what he was asking.
That's what I will do
After
this.
we take a vote, yes.
All right.
Perfect.
And I was gonna say, are those bids available if somebody did want to access them?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so I would say that we all had access to them.
facilities meeting as well, and, you know, I think it's not exhaustive reading. If you're interested in reading about it, if you wanted to table it for any reason, but I'm pretty confident that we have the services and the person that we need sitting at this table.
Ms. Campbell?
I was quite passionate about it in the beginning when this first came up, but understanding your experience, and I think my biggest fear was the pressure that you would get from a lot of public scrutiny and trying to take that off of you. But you are certainly more than qualified, and the project is in very good hands with you. So I will sleep better at night knowing not only will we save money doing this, but it's in good hands. So thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Anything else from facilities?
I could do a quick update on the ceiling at CHS Auditorium.
Oh, the ceiling.
President Walsh had a chance to tour it with me on Friday. So we got right now we are waiting on a couple more components of it to come in, the scaffolding to do the rest of the ceiling. And we also had a second engineer's report that the Primex had requested to have come in and do that for us. That should be coming in later in the week. And I think at this point, we're looking at, once we get let's call it the second half of the project started, it should be about a 2 to 2.5 month process to do the demo, build back the correct system, and then get it all cleaned, everything moved back in the room, and put back online.
And when do you anticipate bringing a contract to the board to vote on for that?
Probably later this week is when I'll get the numbers, and then I can come back and
Coordinate,
talk.
thank you.
Sure.
Anything?
Well, one real quick thing we did over at Runlet Middle School. I see Jay here tonight. We did a small improvement at 2 crosswalks from the pickup and drop-off area into the school. We have the entry where the main entrance is. There was a little bit of a lip or a reveal that people are familiar with. We took care of that. We repaved that in, and we also did the same thing over at the gymnasium entrance as well, just to make things flow a little bit easier.
Thank you.
So.
I have tripped.
Well, since you're our new OPM, I have a quick question for you about the middle school project. During the public hearing, we had an engineer get up and testify and recommend something specifically for further testing to potentially value engineer the foundational stuff that we were talking about. I think it's cone something, not an engineer. I'm curious to know if that's something that is going to be discussed or could be on the agenda for the next building committee as an option for us to move on.
It could be.
Testing.
We do have further testing.
Yeah.
I think in the next 2 weeks, I think the 17th of November is when that is going to take place. That will produce the results to further look at the analysis of the soils.
Okay.
So we would be able to report out after that.
Great, thank you.
Not Thursday's meeting, but the meeting after, I assume?
The meeting after, right.
Great, thanks.
Great. Okay. Mr. John isn't here for the finance report.
No, he did share that all changes, financial changes, are reflected in the report in the board packet, and that there is no substantial changes to report
We've been
out.
talking about money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of, that's kind of what he said to me before, is we've met quite a bit. I am not sharing anything new with them tonight.
Till our eyes bleed. Great. I will say that Mr. John was today elected to the school care board, which we had asked him to do to improve our representation and oversight of that. So I expect we'll be hearing more on that.
Okay.
Communications and policy has a policy for first reading.
Sure do. To start this discussion, I am going to make a motion that the board accept Concord School Board Policy 415 as presented on first reading.
We don't normally vote on first reading.
Oh, that's true. We just I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's been a long year.
Yeah, that's okay.
It sure has, honey.
So I bring tonight to you Concord School Board Policy 415 as it relates to Title IX sexual harassment reporting and grievance process. This is a policy that we had worked on extensively after the Biden administration had made updates to Title IX, and then we had to pull that policy back because Title IX policy for the Trump administration had rolled back to the previous version. So we had to revisit the policy to adhere to the 2020 version. So this has been a long road. What you will see is red text indicates new language, stricken text indicates what will be removed, and because this is a formatting beast, you will see some highlighted pieces which just refers to section numbers within the policy. Those remain blank so that if there are any more amendments between now and second reading, we don't have to go back and do it all again. So those will remain blank until you see this again next month for final approval. If anybody has any questions, feel free to come to us. Everybody on the policy has been working on this quite a bit, so I'm sure any of us could speak to it. That's it. No motions or nothing.
It's a beast.
I am going to open up for public comment. Would anyone like to testify? Seeing none, I am closing public comment. Next, personnel. Are you handling this?
Yes, I am. Covering all tonight. All right. So,
There you go. Found it.
So first thing I have for personnel is winter coaches. Just not going to go through each one of them. Each of these are returning coaches that have either moved around from one sport to another. Some of them are returning to the same, and some of them have been volunteer coaches with us at the various levels and are now coming on as a stipend coach.
I move that we accept the slate of winter coaches.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Higgins, second by Ms. Robinson. Is there discussion?
It's nice to see the coaching things filled.
Little nervous that I see a former student in there because I have a former third grader now coaching.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next,
I have bringing forth acting principal Chris Gallo, as well as acting principal Lindsay Nye, to be moved into interim status. Chris at Concord High School from acting principal to interim principal, and Lindsay Nye at Krista McAuliffe School from acting principal to interim principal.
I move that we accept these changes in these two administrators' titles.
Second.
moved by Ms. Higgins, second by Ms. Boucher. Discussion.
Just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
We know we've asked an awful lot of you this year, and we very much appreciate you stepping up and helping us out under difficult circumstances. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Well, I'm glad you're laughing about it, yeah. And then finally, we have the teacher nomination.
Yep, we get a .5 music teacher at Broken Ground School.
Yay. Mr.
I'll make the motion that we accept the recommendation of Carly Blake as a music teacher at Broken Ground. I have known Ms. Blake since she was 4, so that'll make me feel about as old as you. And we are, the school will benefit greatly by having her an alumni of Concord. So.
Oh, I seconded. Oh,
Sarah
Sadowski.
Seconded by
Sarah
Ms. Sadowski. Is there discussion?
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, just yay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
That was like some of the most New Hampshire conversations that just took place.
We have no other votes, so monthly enrollment reports.
So monthly enrollments, as I go through things that I, continue to stay in regular conversation with building principals about Abbott Downing School, some of their numbers at the kindergarten level, as well as their third and fourth grade levels. Those are regular conversations with Principal Blinn and myself. Krista McAuliffe School, again, the kindergarten level, we know those class sizes are large, and since we have provided an instructional assistant to that level, things have been more manageable. There's still large classes at the kindergarten level, though. We can respect that. That is a challenge in itself.
Was this late registration that we had 3 classes?
A lot of transition happened this summer. Some of it is due to that. Some of them moved in afterwards. Starting the fall, we had a number of students move in. We began the year with them around 19 and one at 20, and as you can see, we filled them up. Yeah. Other key takeaways from enrollment numbers this month. We've stayed almost at the same level as far as we've dropped in some schools but went up in other schools. The high school has dropped 6 students since our October meeting. In addition to that, we've gone up a couple of students at Millbrook, some students at Krista McAuliffe School, as well as we've gone up 3 students at Abbott Downing and a single student at Beaver Meadows. So again, although we drop in one area, we've gone up in other areas and stayed steady at Runlet. Again, I've talked with CRTC today. Ann and I were in discussion about we have had 4 students drop off from CRTC. Some have moved out. Some have opted not to complete their year in the program.
Ms. Sadowski?
One of the areas that I see an increase that I'm concerned about is the homeless students. I mean, we have 86, and that's up 13 from Jenny's presentation last month. So I just wanted to draw folks' attention to that, and I think it's something we need to continue to monitor and communicate with the city.
I was going to mention that has gone up, and our charter has actually gone down by 2.
And Jenny, do you want to speak to the preschool numbers?
Yeah, so keep in mind, our preschool numbers are always going to fluctuate because when a child turns 3, we must enroll them. So you're going to see that number, constantly shifting. We have a number of students in the referral process right now. The good news is we still have some community placements. So, and keep in mind and understand those numbers reflect an AM and a PM class, and some special ed students come 4 days a week, not just the 3.
Oh yeah, so that would make the numbers different.
Thank you. Anything else on enrollment?
Nope.
Right,
I have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
If this is if this is a lot of work, don't do it. Bridget, I'm looking at you because I don't know if you do this, but is there any way we could get a month-over-month enrollment as far as our homeless population? I know we get it once a month, but
Yes,
it'd
we
be
can
nice
do
to
that.
see.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you stand with that again, because I will be doing it for you?
Okay.
The
Homeless students by month.
Yeah, just so we can see the fluctuation.
Or even what's in the red box.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so we can compare it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the homeless last month that I had talked about was 73.
That's a big job. It is. Thank you for noticing that.
We've had this discussion before with John Fabrizio before he left, which is that it doesn't necessarily reflect the number of families, because oftentimes it'll be multiple children per family. So, we have to kind of keep that in mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It's climate.
Yeah.
good
Although
context.
last year, I think we were averaging about 100 students a month.
Yeah,
So this is actually a little less than it had been for the last several years. We were at
I think we
at
peaked-
100 or above. a
We
month.
peaked at like 112 last year, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, all the better reason for that trend.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think if I just to counter that, potentially we may want to check that fact because the last time I checked, the October 1 versus October 1 year, we're much higher this year than we were at this point last year.
Yep.
That doesn't mean the numbers will, but just we're starting from a
Right.
higher place this year.
Yeah.
And so we may go higher.
Yep.
As we move forward. Yeah, but the numbers are higher at this point in the year than they have been in the past, but not over in general. Yes, about 110.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic number, and I appreciate you keeping
I just
such
wanna make
close
sure.
track of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that we can assist those families.
SNAP benefits are over, folks. That's right.
So if we go to our calendar, tomorrow is an election day, so Wednesday morning, between 8 and 9, be ready and available for a call from Bridget, because we need to canvass the votes to make them official. Building committee on the 6th that Mr. Richards is going to chair. Instructional 5:30 on the 10th, no school on the 11th. Finance at 5 on the 12th, followed by a board work session on health insurance, which will be a lot of fun. 17th, we have executive at 5, followed by city and community at 5:30. That's when Mr. Gill is coming to present on Memorial Field, so board members may want to attend. 19th, communications and policy at 5:30. And then the week of the 24th, we have Thanksgiving break.
Can I just mention on the 10th that Sarah is going to be chairing that one?
Oh, yeah, I already said I could.
Yeah.
And I'll come, so we'll have a quorum.
Sweet.
December, the meeting is on the 1st at 6 p.m. Negotiations at 5:30 on the 3rd. Building committee at 5:30 on the 4th. Finance at 5 p.m. on the 8th, followed by instructional at 5:30. Communications and policy at 5:30 on the 10th. Executive committee at 5 p.m. City and community relations at 5:30. Board of Education gathering at 5:30 at Gratitudes, the best night of the year.
It's true.
And then 2 weeks of holiday break for students and staff. You know, I would actually probably welcome a meeting at some point during this.
Sorry, honey. I have to go to the
SAU. We do have a few non-public items. So I'm going to move to go into non-public session under 91A3 to discuss personnel issues. Is there anything, other issues?
Other than that, no.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Seconded by Ms. Hastings. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Meeker, would you call the roll? Ms. Kara Meeker.
Yes, my answer is yes.
Thank you.
You're all set.
Ms. Campbell. Yes. Ms. Hastings.
Yes.
Ms. Higgins.
Yep.
Mr. Richards.
Yes.
Ms. Robinson. Ms. Stubbs.
Yes.
Ms. Wall.
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you all.
We will not.
We will not be coming back except to adjourn.